I'm sure many of you will agree that Goat Simulator games are undeniably some of the most insane video games out there. The main goal of these games is to spread as much chaos as you possibly can. You get essential tools to accomplish your evil deeds, such as your horns to headbutt NPCs and objects, hint legs to kick NPCs and objects, and of course your mighty long tongue to lick everyone and everything, making them your best friends. Mostly cause even if they want, they can't escape from the strong Pilgor's tongue grip. Yep, if you're not familiar with the main protagonist goat, she's called Pilgor, and like any other goat, she's very stubborn. But that's what we love about goats. They're always right, and if you don't agree, they'll headbutt you to make you change your mind. So where did we stop? When Goat Simulator 3 released, it brought some more, should I say, depth to the series. It has many quests, which we have to complete and synchronize many of those mysterious goat towers. Then we beat the final boss. I won't spoil you that part, but you got the point. Although the plot may be an excuse to give this mess a bit of an explanation, I do love this somewhat new approach to the things. There's also an important part of the series hard to imagine without. Since the early days, crucial elements of these games are its DLCs. Legendary Waste of Space, Payday, MMO Simulator, Goat Z, Back to School, and Go City Bay brought us brand new cities, worlds, and goats with fantastic new abilities. It was more than enough to end the world hunger for a new goaty content. When Goat Simulator 3 saw the light in 2022, it was a matter of time to get its own DLC. We had to wait some time for it to come out. Fortunately, this year marked a release of the first Goat Simulator 3 DLC with the brand new campaign, which was definitely worth the wait. It's called Multiverse of Nonsense. An amount of content we've gotten with this addon is huge. I must warn you, there are gonna be many spoilers throughout this video, though I suppose you're already aware of that and have an intention to see what's it all about and get to know if it's worth buying. So without further ado, let's proceed to today's topic. Multiverse of Nonsense greets us with ourselves sitting in a black mass laboratory tram. We're not just normal Pilgor, we're a scientist goat going to her shift. You probably caught in your eyes some similarities with some unknown to humanity game. Of course it resembles an iconic Half-Life sequence. The thing that sets it apart from the original game, you now ain't no Gordon Freeman, you are much more of a professional GOAT Pilgor. We see some scientists riding through the tunnel, until we stop and exit the tram. We meet a guard and start our conversation. That's great, we got possibility to talk with others for the first time. After a short conversation with the guard who most definitely owns us a beer, we walk through the gates to the facility to get our GET suit on. After getting our special suit, we head to the test chamber. There, as expected, our experiment fails when we put an instability stone under the laser beam. We see how in the center of the chamber a strange portal appears and we get sucked into it. This is where our true adventure begins. Immediately after we get teleported, we see a huge Capybara, the great guard of Multiverse of Nonsense, who convicts us in unbalancing the multiverse. She says that we are now obligated to restore the balance in the universe by causing more chaos. We also have to return 5 instability stones back on Capybara's tiara, which we'll find traveling to different special universes. Practically, we should find 4 of them, cause the first one we grab right after our arrival to the multiverse. Just like in the base game, we got a few gold towers to synchronize and some trinkets to collect. On the main island located 3 completely different themed cities, Goofville, Goatroid and Mount Olympus. Let's take a closer look at each one. Goofville is the most adorable and prettiest town from all of them, which you'd definitely like to visit. It has a cartoonish look and seems to be based on some good old cartoons, like Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, and others. There are dogs, cats, and ducks among local folks. Just look who's wandering here. It's a toon goat. We can even become it and yell its new goofy ba sounds. I really love this goofy fella. Goofville villagers drive funny big and small cars with the eyes instead of their headlights. There are many citizens who'll ask us for a favor. We help a huge tree in the town center to stop the annoying bird from knocking inside tree's body. We can accomplish it by scaring it with a freaking bomb. We're gonna take care of gnome infestation, break into the coin vault that has a clear resemblance to Scrooge McDuck's vault. I must say, it wasn't that easy. We even have to pay off the mortgage. Now guess who's in charge of taking our hard-earned money, cause after collecting enough coinbacks, we get Tam Nook's suit. You probably already understood, this DLC is full of references to other games. There's a whole lot of more quests to accomplish in this town. We even help a duck with teleportation experiment, after which we become a legendary, at least for me, character who before was only referenced on billboards across San Angora. And this boyo is Rainfalls. Being this little backpack guy, you're able to transform any object in a living creature, what is certainly an amazing, charming, fun new feature. So many things to do, we can draw a tunnel which will have a train coming from. We'll help a real estate agent to bring bees to their new home. We give a ride to a suspicious luggage to get him far away from the place he was in. What are this man's secrets? So much stuff to talk about, but I think it's about the time to take a trip to the other, much weirder town. Goatroid citizens are anthropomorphic goats who look and walk like normal humans. Who or what can be more gorgeous than these fine guys, right? They drive widespread vehicles in this area called goatmobiles. They look like a horse wagon combined with some of the oldest invented cars. Just like in the previous town, here in Goatroid we complete many interesting and questionable tasks. We get to take a fellow goat's human pet on a walk. Yep, you heard it right. The human we get to walk around the block stays on their four limbs. I should admit that it is much harder to walk this human than any other dog or cat or any other pet. We become Dr. Pilgor, a host for a television program. We search uncharted dig spots where we find a gold statue of a founder of San Angora. Uncharted treasures. Does it remind you something? Of course it's a coincidence. We get to reveal a lost sacred human-like ghost statue which will blast us with its laser eyes after we bow in front of it. After all of these rituals, we become a human goat ourselves. We walk on our two hind legs, and we are also able to blast everyone with our laser beam and make them creatures alike. I do really like this skin, but I wish you could put different clothes on. By the way, humans in this town aren't only walking on their four limbs, some of them can fly too. This I call a true power of local flora and fauna. Eventually we'll have to catch those pesky birds. There's fast growing grass on one of the building's roofs. After cutting it, we get grass hair that can grow really high on our head. If you don't like a tower of hair, you can trim it. But why would someone want to trim this elegant pile of hair? Time to move to the last city in the multiverse, Mount Olympus, which I believe is heavily based on the Greek mythology. As expected, instead of video game references, it has many mythological gods. We help a merge collecting god to find a rare Zeus figure. But before giving it to her, we need to turn the Zeus figure into a golden one with help of a hand of Midas. Though if you try to stand on the hand, you'll turn into a golden goat. Fortunately, you are not Lara Croft, so you won't stuck in the golden shell. Like a professional goat, you'll survive and you'll be able to do your usual goat things. There will be a lyre in one of the buildings and we have to play the right sequence of notes on it. We get to drive a huge Trojan horse, I mean a huge Trojan goat, to the city's center. When we reach it, army of soldiers will get out of its... I suggest to skip this part. We can challenge ourselves to go past Medusa's site, getting her snake hair as a reward. Fight enormous Hydra with many heads, which was a nice boss battle, should I say. By the way, citizens of Mount Olympus look like normal human beings, unlike fellas from the other towns. Though they're still more than normal people. I suppose them to be ancient Greek gods. We get to meet our boy Sisyphus. We help him out in pushing the stone on the top of the mountain and play some pinball with it. We can take a boat ride through a very questionable river with some red substance in it to the Underworld Inc. headquarters, where we'll help a creepy boss to clean up the office. You know, usual stuff, sweeping the floors, knocking out the doors, straightening paintings, and doing some plumber work in the bathroom. Isn't it about the right time to pack our baggage and travel to the universes which keep our precious instability stones? The first one's called Miningverse. Entering this universe, we instantly become a mining dwarf goat. The wool place is a big reference to another Coffee Stain hit title, Deep Rock Galactic. Wearing our helmet with a glorious beard, we get an ability to throw lanterns which brighten our way through this dark mine. The best feature that steals the show is undoubtedly being able to say some catchy phrases like "rock and stone, brother, give me rock, stone, or both."
If you're rock and stone, you're never alone.
As you see, I can officially be considered as a part of this mining society. First thing we should do is to prove ourselves by headbutting colorful gems and bringing them to the operator's robot. Reaching the 10th level, we get our first dedicated robot body, which will simplify our mining journey. When we reach 60th level, we get a mining ore. This drill thing on our back helps us to get into the secret ritual chamber, which we are not supposed to enter. There we find our instability stone and send it back on the tiara. Second rift leads us to Puzzleverse. As expected from its name, in this universe we solve some clever challenges that only true goats can accomplish. The first puzzle requires to find and turn on all the right levers. Our second mission is to lead laser beam to the right directions throughout the room. We have to lead our Pilgor through the tight trail while the camera is placed on the ceiling in the third challenge. There will be 3 of these trails, each one getting harder, though you won't have any complications beating them. Fourth challenge is about placing buttons on a TV remote in right places. You may want to use advanced Super Goat techniques to find the answers. The fifth puzzle's goal is to solve mathematical expressions on a calculator. The expressions are getting harder with each one, but not in the way you'd expect. Sixth challenge is a chess game. As terrifying as it may sound, you don't need to know how to play chess to complete this mission. You need to connect all the pipes in order to make the oil circulate inside them as the 7th mystery task. The 8th challenge is known for every goat since the childhood. You have to put the figures in the identical shaped holes in a wood plank. Finally, our last 9th mission, to beat our greatest enemy, Brain. As a result of beating it up, we split the brain in 2 like a nut and get our well-deserved instability stone. The third portal teleports us to Microverse, entering which we get an astronaut suit and get an important mission to cook some space food. First of all, we combine some regular ingredients like grass, radiator, mud, milk, tractor, and other floating space junk. After combining the ingredients, as expected, we get a full living cow, pig, and bread. When we mix pig and cow, we get a sausage. Putting it on a bread, we get a tasty hot dog. We heat up our hot dog in the huge microwave, which then turns into a transformer. This new robotic friend enjoys eating our delicious food, gives us the 4th instability stone, and flies away to the multiverse. To reach the last instability stone, we have to get in the chariot and fly into the Capybara's stomach. The place doesn't seem very welcoming because of its bloody palate. Our camera sets much farther in a certain angle. We face many mysterious enemies on our way, who we heroically fight back. I am not quite familiar with the game's genre this level represents. Looking at the fighting mechanics and HUD style, it clearly has to be an RPG. The enemies drop various items when die. I am not sure how much they change the gameplay. If I understand it right, they serve role of spells. We go through some portals to proceed to the end of the level. Maybe we can count it as a Portal game reference. After fighting against hordes of enemies, we must destroy our main target on this mission, the Kidney Stone. Dislodging this thing, it takes the place on the Tiara as the last instability stone. After all of this mess we've seen, we get teleported on a tiny island with a warm bath. Capybara thanks us for moving her kidney stone and assures to bring everything back to normal. Then we suddenly meet the farmer, who has bad blood with goats. He says everything that happened was his idea and praises the capybara for being a chill creature unlike goats. Although he hates Pilgor, he mentions our help dislodging the kidney stone. When the conversation ends, we get back to the main island of Multiverse, and now we can play as our beloved animal Capybara. It's undeniably an amazing award for beating the game, cause who doesn't like these adorable creatures? Me and my brother hoped being able to play as a capybara since we saw the trailer. Basically, we went through the full plot of Multiverse of Nonsense, just about perfectly chaotic and stupid like we all love. To sum up, it's hard to overestimate how much fun this is to play through this DLC. Amount of content it brings is just ridiculously huge. Aside from the plot and the full map itself, I must mention new characters and costumes this DLC brought. Our new characters, more known as goats, are Rainfalls, Toon Goat, Missing Link, Hot Dogian, Lizard Doggo, Kid Goat, and the one who steals the show, the Great Chill Capybara. Some of my favorite cosmetics are Mining Dwarf Beard, Dr. Pilgor, Grass Hair, Toadstool Hat, GET Suit, Pie Thrower, Magic Paint Kit, Form Gnome, Mali, and Tanuki Ears. As you might have already understood, I can talk why I love this DLC for hours. You can play it alone, play with your siblings, with your mom or dad, or with the uncle who visits you once a year. So if you are a crazy goat who loves Goat Simulator 3, then don't hesitate and buy this masterpiece called Multiverse of Nonsense right now. Let the rock solid be with you. As always, it was Mills and Persona, see you in the next video.